world. Welcome to our Dynasty life. I'm Chrissy.
I'm Poon.
And today we're going to tell about how we met. So a new subscriber actually requested this video, and it had been one we've been wanting to do anyway, so we figured it was time. I guess we could give a little background about like what we were doing before we met, like leading up to it. So I was living in a suburb of Orlando, and I was a teacher at a middle school, and I never traveled before internationally, and I went on a missions trip to Kenya with my church in November 2011. And then after that, I caught the travel bug and was like, I want to travel. And so for the next summer, I started looking for jobs where I could get paid to travel. And I came across this company called Rustic Pathways, and I ended up getting hired to work in Thailand, which I was actually trying, I think originally for Tanzania, and ended up in Thailand at a place that they called the Rice Fields base. So now Poon can tell you how he ended up at Rice Fields prior to that summer.
Yeah, before I'm still in the south of Thailand. Like I'm working and learning in the south. And then one day after I'm finished high school, my relative, my aunt, my mom's sister, my aunt is like take me go to work in Isan.
Isan's a region in the north of Thailand, northeast.
Yes.
So Poon's aunt's husband was an American. His aunt's Thai, obviously. Her husband was an American, and he worked for Rustic Pathways. So she told him about the job through her husband, I guess, right? That's how you ended up working for Rustic.
Yeah.
So Poon had been working for Rustic since like October 2011. So he kind of moved there around the time I was in Africa, in Kenya, on my trip. So anyway, fast forward to June 2012. I get on a plane by myself, fly to Thailand for this job. My parents were freaking out, thinking that I was gonna get taken like in the movie. And they're like, what if this company's not legitimate? Like, what if something happens? What if it's not a real company? But I was like, I'm pretty sure it is. Like, they bought me a plane ticket. So anyway, I roll up in Bangkok and meet the group, and we tour Bangkok a little bit, fly to Udon Thani, and we drive from the airport to this little village outside of Udon Thani called Chiang Yun, and roll up through this tiny little Thai village, and bam, there is the Rice Fields base, I guess you could call it. It's a huge complex. I don't remember how many acres.
Yeah, it's really big.
Yeah,
area.
It's a big area. They have a bunch of houses, and anyway, so we ended up, I think we had staff training when I first got there.
Yeah, we have staff training.
I don't even remember seeing Poon. Like, I know he was there, but like I don't remember specifically talking to him or interacting with him during that staff training. I ended up getting sick, of course, and ended up being in my room for a couple of days during staff training because I get everything. And there was hundreds of people there. Like there were so many Asian staff, American staff, like all there. It was for all of Southeast Asia programs there for training. So what programs did you work on? Well, I guess we should say what we were doing with Rustic is they run high school travel and community service programs, and they used to have programs all over the world. So Thailand was only one of their many, many, many locations in the world. So high school kids would come, fly to Thailand. We both worked at Rice Fields the whole summer, so they would come to Rice Fields and we would do all these different community service programs.
Yeah.
So which ones did you mostly work on?
I mostly work on hand in the dirt, and
it's like planting rice. And then teaching at the elementary school in the afternoon. I think he did that one a lot of times. And then hands in the dirt, which was planting rice for different local farmers. I usually did welcome homes in the morning, which was building houses, or a house every summer. And then in the afternoon, I kind of did all of them. I did meals on flip-flops a lot. Yeah, so we would cook meal, go to the market, get food, bring it back, cook it, and then we'd go deliver it all over the village.
Yeah.
And then I think later on, maybe the next summer, I did more of the teaching. So we really, we didn't interact much during the summer.
Yeah.
We knew who each other were, but I had a boyfriend at the time. He was really young. He was, all flirty with the girl students and...
Not with the girl students.
Yeah, you were a little flirty. But we really didn't see much or think much of each other, to be honest. So we were friendly. I remember we got in a mud fight during Hands in the Dirt one time.
Yeah,
we
have a mud fight.
Yeah, and I was like, I'm gonna get you, Poon, because he threw mud in my face and it went in my mouth, buffalo poop mud in my mouth.
Yeah, and after that, everyone tried to get me.
Yeah, I was like, get Poon, and so they all did because the kids, they were annoyed with him too because he was throwing mud at them. So anyway, I loved it there. I did not want to leave at the end of the summer. They actually offered me a full-time job at the end of the summer to stay on and do group trips during the fall. So I got to go to some other countries and do some group tours for Australian schools that brought their groups to Thailand. So then I didn't even see him again for a full month because I was off doing the tours. I went to Chiang Mai for vacation and then did the tours. So anyway, then I come back and they had asked me and our good friend William to teach an English class for all of the Asian staff because it was off season by then. So, having been a teacher, it made sense for me to do that. So me and William kind of put together a little curriculum and decided what topics we would cover, and we grouped them. We did a little assessment and grouped them into 3 groups. So Poon was in the beginner class.
Yeah.
Basically at the beginning of the summer when I met him, he could say hello, my name is Poon. I'm from Thailand.
Yeah, I know
couple
sentence what is your name?
Yeah, what is your name?
How are you? Where you from?
Basics.
How old are you?
Yeah, and his accent was really thick. So, he was in the beginner class, even still. He learned a lot during that summer, but he was still very, very basic English. So, anyway, we taught the English class. By this point, I think I had broken up with my boyfriend back home, just because I planned to stay in Thailand, and I knew I was going to be back and forth a lot, and it wasn't really fair to him. So I was single at this point. There's only 2 of us Americans left at rice fields, there with all the Asian staff. So it was a little bit lonely, and I'd hang out with William and I'd hang out with all of the guys and stuff because it was only men basically. I was surrounded by men there by fall.
Yeah, you only girl.
I was the only girl, yeah. But it was fun. I would go out and play soccer with them in the fields. And I remember this one day in class, after class, Poon asked me, "Can you help me with English later?" And I was like, "Yeah, okay." It's not I had anything else to do. I'm all alone there. So we go sit outside at this little table in the late afternoon, evening after he had finished work and I had finished work, and it was hard to communicate because he really didn't speak a lot of English. So we were drawing pictures. We were drawing maps of where we were both from. We were using Google Translate a lot on my phone. That's how we were communicating.
Yeah, a lot is translate.
Yeah, so I think by that point he had a crush on me, right?
Yeah.
That's why he asked me to tutor him, right? And I didn't think anything of it. I legitimately just thought he wanted help with English.
Really?
So I did, yeah. So we ended up hanging out, and I would tutor him after class. I almost said after school. After English classes were all over for the day. And we would just kind of hang out. And then I think one night you guys were playing cards or something upstairs in one of the rooms and drinking whiskey.
Yeah.
And so I came. And I was I didn't play cards, I was just watching them and drinking Spy probably, which is a really lame Thai drink. It's so bad, but I liked it at the time. It's a wine cooler. And I think like that's the night we started kind of talking, and then after that we just like were always together, and we would go to town together. We'd go
on the motorcycle.
We'd find somebody's motorcycle or hop on the Song Khao and go into Udon Thani town. We'd go eat, we'd go to the mall, walk around, we'd go to the night market. And yeah, he was basically like in my room all the time, just hanging out like when we weren't working. So we weren't like officially dating. We didn't really talk about it, to be honest. Like, oh, we're boyfriend and girlfriend. Like, we didn't really talk about it. So
we go more like we go outside around like in Udon Thani, you know, around in the market.
So then I had to go back home at like the end of November or middle of November. I don't remember. That was the first year. So like obviously I was sad. We both cried when I left. But I had to go back and go to training for Rustic in Ohio because like I was new to the company full time, and then I was going to be working for them doing customer service until the next summer when I would go back to Thailand. So we knew we'd be apart for like 6 months. So like, and we didn't really talk about like what the expectations were, I guess. So like I kind of left thinking we weren't dating and maybe we'd pick things back up the next summer, and he kind of assumed that we were together. So anyway, it's a long story, but we kind of both ended up dating some other people while we were apart. And then I went back to Thailand the next summer. We realized we were both kind of talking to other people. We were both upset, him probably more than me at that point. And I very quickly realized that I did not want to be with that guy. And so I called him and broke things off and was like that was the decision, was to be with Poon. So then he ended up breaking up with his girlfriend, which was messy. It was not good. Thai girls don't like to let go of their men, guys. For good reason, but it wasn't a good situation. But anyway, from that point on, we were pretty much together. My mom flew to Thailand that fall, and me and her and Poon traveled around Thailand during that fall.
Yeah, it's a fun trip.
It was a fun trip. We went to Chiang Mai. We went down to the islands to Railay Beach.
Yeah.
Brought her to Udon Thani. We did Bangkok for a couple days. So Poon was like our tour guide and translated for us because my Thai wasn't great yet. And so then, you know, from there we just kind of started like talking about the future stuff. We decided we would like think about, you know, getting engaged at some point. So then I went back home in the fall of 2013 for 6 or 7 months, returned in summer of 2014, and that's when we got engaged. It was on my birthday, July 30th, 2014. He bought a ring. Well, I kind of picked it, but we went to Laos, to Vientiane for a night because I needed to do a visa run. So we went to this French restaurant that we really both liked there, and he proposed there. So he even had one of the wait staff like take pictures, I think. So it was cute. So yeah, from then on, like the rest of that fall, after the summer of 2014, we worked on filling out fiancé visas to submit. So it was kind of just like, okay, we're gonna get married and we're gonna do visas. And so then we were supposed to come back to the States. Well, I was back in the States. He was supposed to come back to the States in spring of 2015, but the visa was taking forever. The process was like really long. My brother got deployed to Afghanistan, so he wasn't gonna be in America for our wedding anyway. So I was like, screw it, forget this. It's taking forever. He's gonna miss my brother. You know, my brother's gonna be gone by the time he gets here. So I'm not getting married without my brother, which I ended up doing. So yeah, it was like April or May of 2015, and I just started applying for teaching jobs in Bangkok. And I got one at a pretty small school in Bangkok in Samut Prakan, and it paid decent. Like it was better than working at like a public Thai school, but you know, it was like my salary in Florida, so it was comparable. So I found a little like long stay hotel there, and I flew over there. I stopped in Africa for my master's residency, and then flew from there to Thailand. And Poon left his job at Rustic in Udon Thani and moved down to Bangkok, and yeah, that's where we stayed for about 2 years, 2.5 years, until we got pregnant with Sienna and had to come back to the States. So that was long, but it was a long, drawn-out story. So we did end up getting married in December of 2015 in Bangkok at a park. What's the name of the park in Thai?
Suan Luang Raw Nai.
Yeah, it's a really pretty park in Bangkok, and our pastor at our church there married us, and we had my dad there. We flew him out, and because he hadn't been yet, his mom took a bus to us for that, and then our friend William was also there, who had taught with me. And yeah, we just got married at a little park, but it wasn't legal. We didn't do any legal paperwork because it would have messed with our visa situation. So we've been married longer than people think that we were married, but we didn't legally get married until 2018 in the States, before Sienna was born, for his green card. So yeah, it was kind of a weird way everything ended up playing out, but it was cool. It was unique, and it just kind of all happened organically, and yeah. So here we are now, 5 years later, almost 6 years later, married with a kid and living in Tennessee and working on trying to get to a place where we can be here half the year and in Thailand half the year, because that's really what we want. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's our story. Sorry it was so long. I hope you enjoyed it. Please let us know below in the comments if you have any other questions for us about how we met or our visas or anything. We're happy to help other couples who are going through the same thing, because it's definitely a journey. And we hope if you like this video that you'll give it a thumbs up and click the subscribe button for more videos on Thai culture and American Thai couples and things of that nature. And we will see you on the next video. Bye.
And then
What are you doing out here? What are you
Sienna, go play.
doing out there?
We're doing a video. Please shut the door. We'll be done in a few minutes. Run some group trips.
I still have that book. Don't we go get it?
Yeah, we can show some pictures. We'll cut that in later. Cut.